morning, my knitters. My name is Karen. You're watching Recreational Knitting. Today is March the 24th, 2025. I started this earlier, saying 2021. Time warp. Anyway, welcome. Welcome back if you're a returning viewer. I do appreciate you so much. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're new here, I just want to explain how I've been named myself Recreational Knitting Podcast. December 2019, we fulfilled my husband's dream of going in an RV in the United States to see the national parks. In March 2020, you know what happened. COVID changed all of our plans from a 1.5 to 2 year trip to 4 years. We saw all 48 states, saw many of the national parks, but one of the ones we missed was Crater Lake, which was snowed in and or closed each time we tried to see it. I particularly wanted to see it because it had been my parents' favorite national park when they did a similar trip back after they first retired. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat here this morning. So that's how I got the name. And after 4 years on the road, 4 surgeries later, between the two of us, we ended up in Ormond Beach, Florida, where we live today. It is beautiful and sunny today. It is also chilly. It's been windy and chilly all week. And today I'm going to go out and knit in the sun, whether I'm freezing or not. Let me start today with what I have on, and I'm going to forget what it's called. It's by Twin Designs, and it's called, I think, the Simple Tee. Yeah, it is not, as I said last time, a free pattern. It is a paid for pattern. And I really like it. I finished it last week. When it blocked, it kind of went up instead of down. I wish I would have had another inch on the sleeves. If it bothers me too much, I'll just pull it out and add some ribbing to that. So, yes, I'll put that down below so that I can be accurate. Trying to do better. Okay, let's see what I have gotten finished this week. Not much. I have a hoe. This is one of my pair of Rhinebeck Roomies socks by Litton, who is the crazy sock lady. And this is knit in opal yarn. And it's Huhtaniemi, and it's based on some artwork, Windows of the World, I believe, and it's really lovely. And as soon as I started with this, you know the rule, busy yarn, simple pattern, simple yarn, busy pattern. I knew that this was not right, but these are my socks, and I thought, well, it's more of a challenge than it is anything. So that's what I wanted to do. And I had some leftover from something. And yeah, gonna try to do that. Pardon me if you can hear my husband talking. I'm not sure who he's talking to, but yeah, he's got a loud voice. So pardon me if that happens. I forgot to talk to you about some administrative stuff, so let's back up. Administratively, Amanda, your package still sits here. PT was another level this week, wore me out. I had it ready to go, and just another level. And so I did not have the energy to stop at the post office, but I will this coming week, hopefully Monday. So be on the lookout for that this week. Those of you that did not see the last podcast, you can still enter to win. Go back to the last podcast and see what you need to do to win some yarn that was made in Canada. So you're going to be able to win one of 2 prizes for Canadian yarn. So yeah, make sure you check that out. Also, while you're there, if you really want to do a little travel log, there are a lot of our videos from Arizona eastward that have some beautiful footage of some of our United States. It may be the last time you see those beautiful state and national parks in that same way. Okay. Okay, let's do some whips. What have I been working on? All right. Since you've been here, if you've been here a while, you know that I've been working on Casipinka's snow cone shawl. Hopefully you can see that. And I used Mouse Witch yarns. Let me get that out before I knock that over. Use Mouse Witch yarns Advent. There's a lot to juggle. Those of you that podcast know. Oh yeah, right in the middle of a row. What are you not supposed to do? Leave stuff in the middle of a row. Anywho, I'll be able to show you, I think. I haven't done as much as I would have liked. I did start on the next color. So I'll show you that. And that's what that one will be. Oh, Karen, this would have been so much easier if you just finished that row. The rows are getting longer. I think I needed to answer the phone. I remember that now. But where my marker was where I was the last time I showed you. So while it doesn't look like much, I think there's like 200 stitches now on here or something like that, close to it. So it takes a little longer to get through that. I'll start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. It's an asymmetrical triangle, and a lot of these are Mouse Witch yarns. Some of them are Orlando Fiber Co., and some of them are minis that I picked up here and there, to be honest. But I think it's very bright and cheery. Looks Florida-ish. I am using also as my white-ish. It's getting close to the end. So this may be my last stripe, and then I'll put this, and then I'll do my edging, which I'm going to be doing a ribbing. I'm no longer following the pattern at all. I'm so off-road right now. It's not even funny. But this is Tosh Merino Light in the Farmhouse colorway. Farmhouse White, excuse me. And it's a single. And yeah, I bought this on a D-stash somewhere along the line. Yeah, so it's working out very well. And I should have that if I continue to do some decent knitting on that. Should have that finished for you next week. So yeah, those are my current colors. I love that. And I think, I mean, it's very close to this, but it's not. Yeah, very close. So yes, progress. I feel like I've done a lot of unknitting this week. I have done a lot of unknitting. there have been places where I've tried to do a bit of a harder pattern than I needed, than this is used to doing. Yeah, those of you that don't know, I had knee replacement surgery 7 weeks ago. And while I'm doing well physically, that anesthesia thing, you know, it ain't no joke. So, yeah, anesthesia brain. Yeah, that's it. All right, let's see what else I'm doing. This is, of course, I probably don't have the pattern. Oh, I do have the pattern. Look at me showing off. It is a Stacey Charles pattern, and it's called the Aubrey Vest. And it's basically just go up to the armpit, and then you'll join in some manner, which I haven't read really through. Let me show you what I have accomplished. This is one side. This is done in Noro, and I'll tell you what it is. Hanua cotton. It's 60% wool, 40%, and in the colorway 217. I actually won a ball of this from my local yarn store, and I went out, purchased another, and then another that's up there. I don't know whether you can see that from that angle, but that's the first side. That was done before Christmas. And this is now on my Wack-a-whip, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. And you can see where the bumblebee is. That's where I was the last time I showed you. So I've made some good progress. And of course, there's a bag hanging off of that for markers or something. So I'm getting close to getting to the top. What I think I'm going to do is make it about 4 inches longer. So yeah, kind of like past hip, because I think I have enough yarn to do that. These are the two that I have. And then I have a full 200 grams up there. So I'm pretty sure that I will have enough to do all of that. And that's my goal. So what I'll do is follow the directions. They tell you to go in the back, and then you're going to pick up stitches, and it's supposed to have a side slit. We'll see how that goes. Don't know, but yeah. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have the yarn to do that. But yeah, this is kind of slow going, even though it's at a bigger gauge, but it's just slow going. I don't pick it up very often. But this is kept in a fat squirrel bag from Halloween. You know, this is actually Easter with pumpkins. But yeah, because I'm like that as a podcaster. Yeah. But Wack-a-whip is something that my local yarn store does. And let me get, do I have that here? I should. I should. Let's see. I should. It's probably in the bedroom. The bedroom is really where I do most of my knitting these days. We have a lazy boy in there, and then in the bed where I'm icing my knee. Yeah, so anyway, 12 entries. You go through your whips and you list them, and then you roll a number every month and you go ahead and finish it. That's the idea of it. I have finished 4 objects using the Wack-a-whip method, but this Noro yarn vest is actually this month's, and this was, I've got something in here I need to pull through. This was the other thing that was on my Wack-a-whip. So yeah, so it does help. And I'll try to remember that for those of you who are new, to show you what that is. It's just a form, and it's just another technique to try to whittle down some of those things. And I thought I had it with me, but I do not. Alrighty. Let me get some of these patterns back where they do belong, because then I'm not looking for them when I need it, and extra steps are not what I really need right now. I had a particularly brutal PT session. What was it? Yesterday? No, Thursday. And yeah, I got on the bike and we did 10 minutes of the bike, and screaming ensued. So yeah, what else do I want to show you? Oh yes, the simple thing. I think I showed this to you last time. I haven't done any more on it. This is the free version. This is where I was the last time that I showed you. I haven't done any knitting on it at all this week, but I did want to show you, pardon me, that I have this much left out of my first 50 ounces of Barocco Sky, but I found the second one, so I now have plenty to finish this. So this might be a something that I really actually work on this week a lot, because I would like to get it finished. Pretty easy pattern. And if you don't know about it, it's the free version of a Sophie Shawl-ish, kind of. It came on the market first. It's called The Simple Things by Westland Knits. And again, just a garter with an I-cord. Yeah, so that's, I haven't done anything on that, but I did find the yarn. Yahoo! All right, what else here on the desk needs to, nothing. All right, this is where I've been working mostly, apart from some of the things that I have really very little progress to show because I was unknitting. This is the Bustleton Tee. There I go, I'm showing off again, remembering things. This is, I know you're sick of this story. This is called Key Bridge from Neighborhood Fiber Co. It was a fundraiser, and I really like the pattern. It fits me very nicely. I was here the last time I showed you, so I have finished the ribbing and started the first sleeve. My goal was this week to get this finished. I had a lot of goals this week that didn't get finished, but maybe next week. We'll see. It's the end of the month. It would be nice to have another finish. But this is I think I told you, Neighborhood Fiber Co. in Key Bridge, fundraiser for the survivor of the people who were killed in a Key Bridge incident in Baltimore. Neighborhood Fiber Co. is a small Black-owned business that I love to support. I think she's kind of on sabbatical right now, having some health issues, but as soon as I find out, I'll let you know if she's back. All right. There have been some unknitting things that are so exciting. Sorry. The first one I had started this last spring, some Samoset easy t-shirt. It was going like gangbusters. And it's by Elspeth Judith, who has a lot of patterns out there. And again, I apologize for that. Ugh. And about the same time, I started this very similar tee, cardamom tee. Do we have a Victoria Ciappellino, My Charming Wool? Again, just a nice tee. And I had two different yarns, summer yarns, that I certainly was gangbusters on both. And the cardamom tee I was making out of Brittany by Louisa Harding, out of this color. And I was going gangbusters on the yoke, and all of a sudden numbers did not add up whatsoever. And I go, what is this about? Well, instead of using this as my guide, I started to use this as my guide. I had put the wrong patterns, just probably on my sewing machine table, and thought, oh, that's the pattern for it, and started knitting away. Probably had about 3 or 4 inches. I was very close to sleeve separation for this one. No, I had started sleeve separation for this one, and that was made out of the Zoe. As you can see, what has happened to this yarn? I just decided to frog them both. This is not easily frogged, just saying. I have plenty of this. I got this in a D-stash, and I got way too much. So I'm going to rethink both of these. I still would like to make both of these, but as you can imagine, there's a little distaste in my mouth from that. So those patterns go on the to be knitted pile, as does the Zoe, which is a lovely color. It's called Red Velvet. And the Brittany, which has silk in it, by the way, is called Surf. So those two are going in timeout. And I have a new pattern that I was thinking maybe I could use for one of them. Me Time Tea. It's by Jen Geigley. And she obviously works a little bit with Madeline Tosh. So again, just a raglan type tea. This is a DK weight, and that Zoe is a DK weight as well. So that's what I'm thinking. I would make mine longer. I would make my sleeves longer, but I have plenty of yardage for it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't often rip back. I mean, I had both of these, you know, sleeve separation, but numbers weren't making sense. And, you know, if you don't follow the correct pattern, yeah, it's kind of hard. Yeah, so a lot of unknitting. Both of those took me over an hour to take back onto the skein. It was, yeah, the cotton was the hardest. I think there's silk in it, and I think that that's what the fiber was causing it not to cooperate well. All right, switch. I'm going to talk a little bit about that Temu yarn that I purchased and how I decided that came out. Now, this is my only my opinion. So you'd have to make your own. This is Every Shine wool, and I got it through Temu. It is 80% roving sheep up in the hills. We don't know what kind of sheep, so it's not merino. We know that by feel. And it's 20% polyester. And I weighed these. I weighed 3 of them. They're supposed to be 50 grams. One of them was 51 grams, one was 49, and the other one was 48. So, not bad, in my estimation. I've gotten some drops Fable recently that were 38 grams, which makes me rethink anything drops is accurate at this point, and it's just a way of them cutting down. All right, you wanted to know how this knit up. I spent a little bit the other day using 3 different needles. This is what it comes out to be. I've got, I don't know what that is there. Oh, yeah, I see what it is. The first one is on size 1. I have 1 purl bump to tell me that. This section here is 2, like 2 purl bumps that show me that. And this is on size 3, 3 purl bumps. If I were using this as a, single yarn, I would use size 2. I'm hoping that you can see that it's not all blurry. Probably would have been easier if I had like a red yarn. Yeah, might have been easier to do that. I don't know whether you can tell, but it came out pretty nicely. I like it. It's not merino, but as long as you know that going in, and it's not scratchy. Once I blocked it, it was not scratchy at all, but it's not merino. It's kind of like sock yarn in some ways. It's that same feel. And if you're okay with sock yarn, you should be okay with this. Now, as I worked my way through that first skein, here's a knot. I don't know if there's any more in there or not. I've kind of, scrunched it around. I couldn't find any more. That doesn't mean there's not 10 more inside there. But for right now, all I got, I didn't get any during this, and there's only one that's visible. I got 500 grams-ish for $8 and something. I'm not saying that this is a good yarn to buy. I'm not saying politically it's a good yarn to buy. I'm not saying anything except that I liked it and I'll use it. So this is what it comes in, a package, and there are, what did I tell you? 10? Yeah, 10. 50 grams each. Not bad, in my estimation. I'd give it a B+. I have worked with far worse yarns. I'm sorry I just kicked you. I'm sorry. So sorry. Yeah, so on that note, I'm going to show you another Temu yarn that I got in the same order, since we're on Temu yarns. This was one that was billed as merino, and I thought, yeah, right, it's not merino. This is merino. If it's not merino, it's merino. It's extremely soft. This is also merino. This is softer than this. Now this does have 10% nylon. This is 100% merino. This is, it says Old Times Wool Yarn for Hand Knitting Merino Wool. And it's Agnes. So I don't know if that is the sheep that it comes from. But this was one of the ones where you get it for like, you know, you buy it for a penny or whatever. And I thought, a penny? Yeah, I'll put it in my basket. So this came in a bag that says that it is originally from Madrid, Spain. So that explains the merino. So yeah, it says, I don't know whether you can see it down there. But, I'll let you see it. It's a DK to worsted weight. It says that it is 100 grams at 165 meters. So it's probably a worsted light, yeah, a worsted weight that's not really, I should have my scale here, and I'll do that after and let you know next time. But yeah, merino wool. And look how pretty the color is. There are no guarantees that this is not going to bleed all over everything. I would not put it with something that would be white. I might use it with something that might be like this, so that if it did bleed, you could get away with it. Just saying. I'm skeptical, but I'm extremely pleased with the softness of this. I'll do a little swatch this week, let you know how it is to knit, but I can almost guarantee that this is going to be extremely pleasant to knit with. I can already see that. It calls for, boy, needle size 4 to 4.5 millimeter, crochet hook 3.5 to 4 millimeter. So yeah, so if you see that tag where it says Old Times Wool Yarn for Hand Knitting, I'd say you're safely in the zone of being able to purchase. I'm not telling you to purchase it. I'm just saying it would be safe to purchase. I would knit, if I had enough, I would knit a sweater from that. It's that nice. So, those are my Temu reviews. Yeah, I know what they say about Temu, but I had to dip my finger into Temu and find out for myself. And I'm really kind of pleased. It's not saying that I'm not going to buy local, and I'm not going to buy American, and I'm not going to buy UK, and I'm not going to buy Canadian. But if I can get this quality of yarn from Temu, wow, that's saying something. So yeah, exciting. Have I done anything else this week? I think that's really it. As I said, I did a lot of projects that are just too hard for me cognitively. So I was making mistakes and pulling back, and, you know, all the things that we do. So yeah, who knows what I'll finish next week. But I'd like to finish my Bustleton tee, and my second sock. And if I do that, I'd be really happy. So, what else do I have? Is that it? Those of you that are in the local Florida region, there is a yarn crawl starting next Saturday, March 29th through Saturday, April the 5th. I believe I told you about this. It's the Orange Blossom Yarn Crawl. There'll be prizes. There'll be all the things. Yeah, all the shops. I think all the shops will be open from Monday through Saturday. And of course, that first Saturday, they'll be open as well. So I do plan to go to at least a few of these. That's my goal. So next week it is. Next Saturday it starts. So I'll probably start with my own local yarn store, which is She Sells Yarn and More in Ormond Beach. I'd like to go to Four Pearls, which is in the Orlando area, which is the home of Emma's Yarn. And I'd like to go, while I'm in Orlando area, I'd like to go to Necessities. So those are three that I definitely have on my list. And then I would like to go to Coco, to Knit and Stitch Boutique, because I hear they have a lot of spinning items. So that's another place that I'd like to go. I'd also like to support Emily, who has just opened up Crochet Away in Tavares, Florida, which is probably 45 minutes to an hour away from the villages. So if you're in that general area, that's certainly something to consider. She's opened up a small yarn shop. She's obviously going to try to expand, but knows that it's needed in Central Florida. And then there's another one that is, I just want to go because I've heard tales about it. You know, people were spilling the tea, and it's called Knit, and it's in Longwood, Florida. So yeah, and you can go to just Google. Yeah, this is not my native tongue. Yes, Orange Blossom Yarn Crawl, 2025. And you should be able to find this, or you can go to my local yarn store, SheSellsYarn.com, and somewhere on her first landing page, I believe she has the link to get to this, and we'll get you the passport. If you get to all of the shops, you know the drill. You're put in the grand prize. So we'll see how I feel. That's a lot in a week for me. But we'll see. Could happen. It could happen. All right. On that note, I think that's it. Seems like I knit an awful lot. And not a lot to show you this week. Next week will be better. Right? Okay. Be safe out there. Again, I apologize to particularly Canada and really the rest of the world for what we're putting you through here in the United States. If you feel it in your bones to do something, call your representatives, call your senators. And those of you that are out of country, again, I am sorry. Knit in peace.